Welcome to this Montgomery Video Insight. My name's Scott Phillips from Montgomery, and I've got with me Gary Rollo, the Portfolio Manager for Montgomery Small Companies Fund. Gary, talk to me about M&A, because there's seems like there's a bit going on in the EV space at the moment. We've got, and you've told us before, that there's two sort of areas in the EV lithium production. There's the developers who are drilling holes and are finding deposits, but they need funding. Then there is the actual producers bringing out their lithium and selling it at record prices. So what's happening in the M&A space amongst these two areas, and is that an opportunity for investors to get involved?
Topical. We've recently seen Albemarle, which is a big US lithium chemical producer, make a bid for, or a proposal to acquire Lintan, which is a lithium mine developer here in Australia. So that's a reference point for us. But the drivers for Albemarle's bid, and also others that might look at the sector, are really interesting. The observations we've got is that you've got industry participants, OEMs in the EV space, the folks who've got the brands that are making the cars or their supply chain. Then you might have big energy companies who want to decarbonize or get into renewables in a way. You've seen them do that in their portfolios, or just big miners. So there's three groups of potentially interested parties in getting into lithium. So we think that the M&A in this space is likely to happen at the top end of town, not in the smaller developers, because each of those players needs to have a product that's big enough in their portfolio to make a difference. So that would be our observation. Probably going to happen at the top end of town, not at the bottom.
Okay, just on that, I mean, what type of average price do you need to make these numbers work for lithium, given this is a long-term theme, but we're seeing a lot of volatility?
Yep, so you're talking about the lithium price there, Scott, and the reference point I'll give you is for spodumene 6% concentrate. If you look at the implied price in the Lintan bid from Albemarle, it was around that $17.50 US a ton for spodumene concentrate. If you look embedded in the long-term forecasts out there from all the analysts, they're looking at around $1,500 US dollars a ton. And if you look embedded in the share prices, so Pilbara is probably discounting around 1,200 US tons today at the current share price, for instance. So there's value. And if you go down into the developers, they will be discounting a lot less, as they should, because their projects aren't funded and they haven't got access to to the markets to sell their product today. So that's what we see out there, and there's some value out there in the market for sure.
Okay, so Montgomery Small Companies Fund has the ability to invest in resources, unlike some other smaller companies, managers out there. You've made some great money out of EV to date. What are your top picks in this space? What have you got in the fund?
We've got a couple of stocks that I'll call out now. We do favour the producers at the moment, with the lithium price being soft. We think that brings uncertainty to the developers, so we don't want to play there. We want to play in companies that can monetize the pricing environment and have got a purpose for that cash, because they are generating lots of it. And what we want to see is that cash being carried off to fund the growth in their portfolios. So Pilbara and Allchem, two stocks that are generating heaps of cash and have very strong growth pipelines. And I'll throw in that Allchem's got the best valuation framework. And actually, if I was looking from the outside, from an M&A point of view, that would be a very interesting portfolio to acquire as well.
All right, thanks, Gary. So producers over developers at the moment for Gary. That's all we've got time for with this EV. It's a long-term theme. It's volatile, but definitely worth looking into. So with that, thanks for your time, and remember, follow us on Facebook and Twitter.